Welcome to the Tradebox One demonstration video. The purpose of the video is to give you an overview of the software, to show you what it can do and its most popular features. Tradebox One is a Windows desktop application. It's designed exclusively for UK retailers who sell online, and it offers order management, stock control, and powerful accounts integration with the UK's most popular account software packages. Here we are in the channel screen. This is the hub for incoming connections from the online marketplaces. Tradebox can connect to Amazon, to eBay, and to most popular web store platforms. We've got predefined integrations with platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, and AKM. And we've also got custom options for bringing in order data from other platforms like OpenCart and Linworks. Within each sales channel, we've got the connection details which let Tradebox talk to the online marketplace. Here I've got my Amazon credentials. Setting these up only takes a couple of minutes, and we've got full video walkthroughs and step-by-step guides to setting up any of the connections within the program. We've got some settings that will only apply to this channel type, and some generic settings that apply across all channels, like the ability to set a start date or to control how far back the program routinely looks for historic orders. In my eBay channel, I've got the API token, which lets Tradebox know which eBay account it's retrieving information from. Again, it's very quick and easy to set this up, and the connections to eBay and Amazon are all done by API, so Tradebox is talking directly to the back end of your account on those platforms. We've got some eBay-specific settings, like the option to automatically leave feedback after order download, and we've also got those same generic settings like the ignore prior to date and number of days to download. We've also got the option to download selling fees, and Tradebox can do this for Amazon channels too. In the web store channels, the options you'll see will vary a little bit from platform to platform, but there's always some controls there for which orders are valid for download, filters by date, order status, and any other criteria like sales source or customer group. Within each sales channel, we've also got the accounts link. This is where the connection to your accounts package is controlled. In this demo, I'll be using Sage 50. Our Xero integration looks very similar, and it has most of the same options. So I'm just going to connect to my accounts data. With Sage or with Xero, Tradebox is talking directly to the back end of your accounts package, which means it can send and receive information automatically in the background. We've got quite a lot of options for customizing how the accounts integration works. What I'll show you here are the most common settings, and the profile that I end up with is one that probably applies to about 2/3 of our users. So we've got the currency of the channel and a posting currency. If this was a channel selling in a foreign currency, I'd have the option for Tradebox to convert to GBP before sending to my accounts, or to post sales in their native currency. I'll choose what type of sales I want to create. We've got options for product invoices, service invoices, or sales orders. We've also got an option to create summary entries, which bounces many online sales into a handful of financials-only transactions. Most of our users want stock adjustment in Sage, so they'd be going with product invoices or sales orders. Lots of the options in this screen are fairly niche and only apply to a handful of users. Some of the most popular options are the ability to create purchase orders if I have any dropship items, or to process BOM transfers if I have any goods set up as bill of materials in Sage. I'll want to choose whether I want to update invoices to ledgers automatically, and that's what makes the stock adjustment happen in Sage. If I'm processing with sales orders, the corresponding option is to allocate stock. I'll also want to set my start date for the accounts posting. This means I know there's no risk of Tradebox duplicating any work that I've already done in my accounts package. I'll need to make a choice of how to handle customer records in my accounts package. Tradebox can either run all sales through a single generic account, or it can create individual customer records for each new online buyer. Any of these accounts posting settings are per channel, so if I had, say, a trade web store and a B2C web store, I could choose individual customers for trade and generic customers for retail. If you choose a generic customer, you'll still get the buyer's name, billing and shipping address, phone number, and email address on the invoice record itself, so you can still find people easily in your accounts package. We've got some options for nominals and departments in Sage, or sales accounts in Xero. If you're using products, the default behavior is to take those from the product record, but we've got options to set those per sales channel or even per country. I can choose whether to send orders through as outstanding invoices, or to have them automatically raise payment in my accounts package. If I choose to post receipts, then I can select different bank accounts for the different payment methods that I offer online. And if there's any methods that I don't want an automatic payment for, I can set that just by unticking the post receipt option for that one method. By default, carriage will go through as a charge on the invoice footer. If you've got your shipping methods set up as products in your accounts though, there's an option to add those as item lines instead. The default tax codes in Tradebox will automatically map to the standard codes in your accounts package. If you use custom tax codes for any reason, you can remap these if you need to. And lastly, we've got the field mapping. On the left are the available fields that we can write to in Sage, and on the right we've got the information passed to Tradebox by the online marketplace. These default settings are usually a good starting point, but you can customize them if you want to. For example, if I get an order with a company name, I can choose to include that in place of the buyer's name on the billing or shipping address fields. You can also choose what to send to the notes or the analysis fields. For example, I've got the email address going to notes 3 here, and it's fairly common for users to tweak these notes and analysis settings. One thing I've not done is tell Tradebox which order statuses I want to download or to post into my accounts. In the statuses screen, the top half controls what Tradebox is looking for from the online marketplace, so I could tell it to only download orders after they've been dispatched. Or I could tell it to download all orders as soon as they've been paid. Some marketplaces have more options in here, so you might see statuses like pending or complete and they'll show automatically. In the bottom half of the screen, I control what's valid to send to my accounts package. So again, I could say that only dispatched or completed orders are valid to go to accounts, or I could tell it to send paid or even unpaid orders too. In the channel screen, I can see this one channel is linked to my accounts package because the link icon is ticked. So all I need to do now is activate the channel and it'll start to pick up orders. The channel's now had a chance to download some orders, and I can see that the figures have increased in the channel list. In the order screen, we've got a list of all of the orders that have come into Tradebox, and I can see the top level detail like the order date, the channel they came through, the channel number, which is the online marketplace order number, customer name, order total, and the status on the order. If I double click into an order, I can see all the details like the item lines, the address, the payment method, and so on. From the order list, I can see what's gone through to my accounts package. The column on the right labelled Sage Ref or Xero Ref shows the invoice or sales order number that the accounts package used. Mine are all unpopulated right now, so I know none of them have gone through to Sage. The accounts posting can be set to manual, so it takes a click of this button at the top to send any orders through, or it can be an automated task that's handled in the background. It's generally a good idea to set it to manual while you're first getting used to processing with Tradebox, so you know when orders have gone through and you can check they're behaving how you want them to. To send some orders through manually then, I'm just going to click the ones that I want to highlight them from the list, and then click Post to Sage 50. That should just take a second to go through. There we go. So I can see this order's gone through as invoice number 1 in Sage, and this one's gone through as invoice number 2. So if I click into my invoice list in Sage, there they are, they've just been created now. If I had the list open and I was working in it already, I might need to resort the list to get them to show, just a refresh. And if I double click into the invoice here, you can see we've got all of the buyer's name and billing address details on the Details tab, and the name and shipping address details on the Order tab, as well as those notes fields, the customer tel number, the customer contact field, so everything that's controlled in the Sage field mapping we were looking at earlier. So even though this has gone through a generic customer account, a web sales account with nothing populated on it, I still get all the buyer's details to search on or print on within Sage. They're just tied to the invoice. We've got all of the item lines here, and I can see that I've got the correct net and VAT split as well. And because I've got my receipt settings set, we've populated the payment tab of the order in Sage. So when I update ledgers, that's going to pay off into my Sage bank. So it's just a normal Sage invoice now. I can do anything I would normally do with an invoice, print it, email it, whatever. I had update ledgers automatically turned off, so I'm going to run update ledgers on it now to finalize and create the transactions. And there they are. So that's now hit my nominal ledger on my P&L, my customer activity, and because I've got receipts turned on, I'll see it in the bank activity as well. So the invoice already completely finalized and paid off. And because it's a product invoice, I'll be able to see that recorded against the products on there as well. So it'll have adjusted out any that are a stock item, and I'll see the sale on the activity of any product that's listed on that invoice. Back in Tradebox then, If I want to send the rest of these, I can do. I'm just doing Control and A on my keyboard to highlight all and then clicking Post. Now, included in that range are the two that I've already sent. Tradebox knows they've already gone through to Sage, so it won't send them through a second time. There's a similar check with order download into Tradebox. The same order doesn't come down twice. So I can see that they've posted now, and if I just refresh the list here, there they are. Not all of the orders did go through. A couple of them have dropped into query. That means there's something about this order that Tradebox doesn't know how to handle. If I open the query order, I'll get a reason for the query. In this case, it's that there's a new payment method that Tradebox hasn't encountered before. So if I was to head into payment mapping for that channel and choose a bank, it would resolve the query, and then the order would be valid to go through to Sage the next time that's attempted. All of these posting rules apply regardless whether you're set to automatic or manual accounts posting, so coming into the order list to check for queries is something you'll want to do maybe once or twice every day. We've got the counters at the top of the order list to make it easier to manage, so you can see at a glance how many orders you've got open or in query or ready to dispatch. Click on a header and you'll see those orders, and you can always get back to the full list by clicking All Orders in the top right of the orders screen. There's a number of ways you can customize the views within Tradebox to help with your workflow, like setting your default order view to only show orders of a certain status or only recent orders by date. The filters within the order list make it easy to change what you're viewing on the fly. So you can view by status, including what has or hasn't gone through to your accounts package, like so. And remember, you can always get back to see all orders by clicking the All Orders counter up here. We've got other preset filters by sales channel or by currency or by date. Or if you want something more complex, you can go into the advanced filter editor like so. If you've set up an advanced filter, you can also easily save them or load them within the filters menu. Within the grids in the screen, we've got options to customize the columns as well, so you can add the information that's most relevant to you. A good example is if you're using Tradebox to print your picking and packing documentation, you can add the columns that indicate that. So I'll get a tick in each of those as I've printed off the packing list and picking list within Tradebox. In the orders list, I've got a mix of orders that have been shipped, and I've got some that I'm still processing. Note that this isn't tied to the accounts posting. There's a dispatched order here that I've sent through to Sage, and also a paid order that's gone through as well. When I'm ready to process these orders, I can click into the Orders to Dispatch section, and that'll show me any orders with a paid status. In the Actions menu, I can print my stock picking list. That groups everything together by item. Now, every order only appears on every document in Tradebox once by default, so for all I had the criteria to filter from, so long as I'm doing this regularly, I can always just click in and click straight through, and I know that only new orders will show here. So here's everything grouped by item with the quantity required, and I can easily send this to printer or to PDF. And I can do the same thing for the order packing list, which groups everything per order. So again, every order only appears on this once by default, and I've got all of the buyer's details, their name and their shipping address, as well as the items that they've ordered, one order to a page. So you can see that's updated the picked and packed indicators for those items. If they're ready to go, then I can go ahead and mark them as dispatched. In the shipping screen, you're seeing any recent paid orders. We show that split into Amazon and non-Amazon, which is purely because Amazon needs some extra information on the screen for the dispatch process to work. So I can mark specific orders by ticking, or I can just click to select all and click dispatch. And that'll then let eBay or my web store know that I've shipped those orders. For Amazon, the dispatch process is much the same. A little bit more information is required in that it needs a carrier code. You can set a preference in the sales channel details page, so it'll pre-populate with whatever your most common shipping method is here. And if I want to add tracking numbers for Amazon or for eBay, I can just key that in like so. And again, just tick the boxes and mark dispatch. So what happens is they don't go instantly, they get dropped into this scheduled for dispatch status. The next time the Tradebox data service, which handles all our background automated processes, gets to the dispatch part of its cycle for each channel, it'll send the dispatch request to the marketplace for those orders. Once the marketplace updates the order, that'll be bounced back down to Tradebox, and you'll see the order status changed to dispatched within the program. So going from scheduled to dispatched within the order list means that that marker's dispatch process was successful. Tradebox also picks up order status changes even if you're not using Tradebox to mark as dispatched. So if you use the marketplace's own controls to mark orders as shipped, you'll still see the order status update to dispatched within Tradebox. So my orders are now fully actioned within Tradebox, and I'm effectively done with them at this point. To keep things tidy, I can choose the ones that I want to mark as complete and just change status on them like so. That removes them from the open orders counter, keeps my workflow nice and tidy, so the next time I click into the orders screen, I can just easily go into open orders or orders to dispatch to see what I still need to action. When you go through Tradebox's initial setup wizard, you'll choose a stock control method. If all you want is order management and financials, you can choose no stock control. If you're VAT registered, this method is only valid if everything you sell has the same tax treatment. You'll specify one VAT rule, and the only time it will be overridden is for international shipments. If you're running Tradebox standalone with no accounts package and you want stock control or a mix of VAT and non-VAT goods, you can run stock control within Tradebox. You'll build a product list within Tradebox based on what you sell online, and you can use Tradebox's stock upload routine to synchronize the free stock quantities on different online marketplaces. If you're integrating an accounts package and you want stock control, you have a choice to choose your Sage or your Xero package as the hub for stock control, or to use Tradebox. Most users choose their accounts package simply because Tradebox is purely a sales ledger, while Sage and Xero also have purchase ledgers which impact on the stock quantities. If you choose accounts as your stock control method, the Tradebox product list will be slaved to your product list in Sage or Xero. If you enable stock upload, then Tradebox will pull the free stock quantities from your accounts package and update your online quantities based on those. In all cases, you'll need to have the products set up on the online marketplaces already. Tradebox can synchronize free stock quantities for products that already exist, but it's not a tool for creating new listings. If you've chosen Sage or Xero as your stock control method, you'll run an initial import of your product details into Tradebox, and your Tradebox products will always match what's in your accounts package. Going forward, whenever you create new products in your accounts package, these will be automatically imported into Tradebox. If you've chosen Tradebox as your stock control method, there's a few options for how to build your product list. You could have products added one by one as they're included in an order for the first time, or you could import from your online marketplace or from a CSV file. Pull them from wherever has the most complete list of your items. That's normally the best way to go. You'll want the products in your master list to have accurate details in terms of SKU and description, and the tax code needs to accurately represent the VAT treatment of that item when it's sold within the UK. However, Tradebox always takes the prices and the amounts on each order from the information provided by the online marketplace, so this means you should always see exactly what the buyer pays each time. If you update any prices, you just need to change them wherever you're selling online. For the orders that Tradebox handles, there's no need to worry about maintaining price lists in Tradebox or in your accounts package. So wherever you've set as your stock control method, there's a master list of products. If your online SKUs all match those product codes, then Tradebox will find the products automatically whenever any orders are downloaded. If you have any SKUs that aren't an exact match of your master product list's codes, you'll need to tie the mismatched SKUs together in a process we call product mapping. There's a few different ways of adding product mappings. If you go into the mapping screen within the products module, you'll see all the pre-existing mappings and any that you've previously added as well. You can use the controls in that screen to add new mappings one by one, just by choosing the online SKU and the corresponding Tradebox product. Or if an order is downloaded and no matching product record can be found, the order goes into query, and you can use the Assign SKU button to map it to the corresponding Tradebox or accounts product from there. Or if you've got lots of mismatches and you want to get this set up ahead of time, the best way really is to set up a CSV spreadsheet containing your online SKUs and your master product codes and import all your mappings ahead of time using the templates in the program. If you're going to use Tradebox for stock upload, that really is the best option because the mappings need to be in place before Tradebox can update a product's quantity online. Like I said though, if all your SKUs are already exact matches of each other, the mappings will be created automatically in the background. So if you're just now in the process of getting things set up online, the best practice is to use the same SKUs for the same product wherever you're creating them. Tradebox can also handle many-to-one mappings, where you've got multiple listings on the same marketplace that all correspond to the same product in your warehouse or in your accounts package. If these are multi-packs, or if you've got bundles that are a mixture of items, we've got options for handling those too. The online marketplaces all track their own inventory, but it's harder where you sell the same things in multiple places. Amazon doesn't know what you've just sold on eBay, or eBay doesn't know what you've just sold on your web store. That's where Tradebox's stock upload routine comes in. It'll update the available quantities online to keep them in line with the free stock quantity in your master stock list, and that reduces the risk of overselling. The stock upload can be fired off by a user clicking a button in the product screen, or you can set it to automatic and have it performed regularly as a background task. The first time the upload runs, it'll run for all products. Thereafter, it'll pick up on products where the free stock quantity is changed for any reason. Orders downloaded through Tradebox affect free stock, but any changes to free stock as a result from purchases booked in, stock takes, or manual adjustments are reflected as well. Here's an order that came through my Shopify store, and we can see the item that the buyer's ordered. In my master stock list, which I've got set to Sage, I can see I had 4 available in stock before this one sold. So Shopify, where the order was placed, has reduced that to 3 as a result of this order, but I also sell this item on eBay, and eBay thinks I've still got 4 available. So let's run through the whole process. Tradebox downloads the order and sends it to Sage. In this case, I've got the option to automatically update ledgers turned on. If I was doing Tradebox stock control, the free stock quantity would reduce down when the order is dispatched. So if I check the product, it's now reduced down to 3 available. The next step is for Tradebox to check for any products that have had a change in their free stock and send that updated quantity back to all marketplaces. That's now done, so if I check on eBay, if I refresh the screen, I should see that I've now got 3 available. And if I check Shopify, there was already 3, but Tradebox has sent that back in any case. So even if my free stock quantity on Shopify was wrong for any reason to start with, it's now in line with my master stock list. I've done all of that with manual posting so far, but you can set order download, accounts posting, and stock upload all to automatic. So if you're looking for unattended stock sync, Tradebox can be constantly working in the background, so long as the computer's powered on and connected to the internet. How long it takes for one service loop, that's once through all automated tasks for every channel, that varies a little bit based on the number of channels and the volume of orders and products. For most users, it's normally about 10 or 15 minutes, so running unattended, you'll usually have accurate stock figures inside of an hour. The same product mappings that are used for order download are also used for stock upload. That means you can use many-to-one mappings and have Tradebox update the quantities on multiple listings online off the back of a single product. We've got options to include or exclude in the upload process. That can be at the channel level, the product level, or the mapping level. So it's easy to tell Tradebox to only upload the stock quantities for the items you want to the marketplaces you want them sent to. You can also set rules to always upload a fixed quantity, or to set a maximum so you can avoid tripping any listing limits on your marketplace. Where you've got bill of materials products set up in Sage, Tradebox can also handle those for order download and for stock upload. When a BOM product sells, Tradebox can bypass it and adjust out the components, so there's no need to hold stock against items or bundles that you build to order. For stock upload, Tradebox can pass the available quantity to make up. So if I had, say, a dining set that's made up of 4 chairs, and I also sell those separately, Tradebox could see that I've got 9 chairs in stock and work out that I've got the potential to build at most 2 full sets. It then upload 2 as the available stock quantity to anywhere I've got a mapping for that dining set product to sell online. Managing VAT accurately is something that Tradebox can make a big difference in for online retailers. In the simplest setup, you'll choose one tax treatment, and this will be applied to all sales. That's a valid option if you're not VAT registered, or if everything you sell falls under one VAT rate in the UK. If you sell a mix of VAT and non-VAT goods, you'll need product records with tax codes set so Tradebox can calculate the VAT per item. If you don't want a full product list, you can get the same result by mapping your online products to generic dummy products in Tradebox or in your accounts package, one product per tax treatment. Above and beyond those UK rules, there's a suite of settings for international sellers. Based on the shipping address of each order, Tradebox will assign it as UK, EU, or Rest of World. Rest of World orders are normally fairly straightforward, and Tradebox's default setting is to 0 rate them. For EU orders, the default is to use the same tax treatment that a UK sale of those goods would, so that assumes a B2C sale. If you sell B2B into the EU, you can turn on an override per sales channel to use the EU B2B tax code, which runs at 0% instead, and that'll map to your accounts package's EU B2B code. If you're selling on a marketplace that provides the VAT number, Tradebox can intuit whether or not to zero rate the sale based on a combination of shipping address and the presence or absence of a VAT number. Not all marketplaces allow for this. Check in with our support team for details. Beyond that, we've also got robust options for users who are VAT registered outside the UK, either because they're beyond a distance selling threshold or because they use Amazon FBA in Europe. For example, if I'm VAT registered in Germany, I'll set up a custom tax code at 19% for German sales in Tradebox and map that to a corresponding custom code in my accounts package. Any sale through any channel will use that code if the shipping address is in Germany. If you sell items that need to be treated differently inside that country, you can set a tax code per item per country. Once your sales are posting using the specified code in your accounts package, you can use custom reports that pull the transaction's tax code to get accurate international VAT figures. There's also an indicative EU distance selling report within Tradebox that lets you see at a glance whether you're close to or exceeding threshold in any country. We hope you found this demo useful. If you're ready to give Tradebox One a try, head to tradebox.co.uk and you can download our free trial. That gives you 14 days access to the full program. There's no obligation, and any work you put into the trial can be retained if you take a paid license at the end of the trial period. All the details of our license costs are available on the website. Simply pick the license tier that covers the number of sales channels you need. There's no hidden costs based on the number of users, orders, products, or anything like that, and all our support's free as well. If you have any questions that haven't been covered by this demo, please get in touch with our support team and we'll be happy to help. We're based in the UK and we've been helping online retailers save time and work more efficiently for over a decade. Our help desk is available by phone or email during office hours, and the contact details are all on the screen here.